Kong Skull Island is the second movie in legendary and Warner Bros. Godzilla and King Kong MonsterVerse, and it features a cool scene right at the end of all the credits with some exciting teasers for the Godzilla sequel, King of the Monsters. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here, and in this video I want to take a look at what we can look forward to in Godzilla 2 based on the post-credit scene in Kong Skull Island. And I'm also going to talk a bit about Godzilla vs Kong. If you haven't seen Kong Skull Island yet, there are spoilers ahead for that film, plus the Godzilla movies and Kong movies. To avoid those, click here for my spoiler-free review of the movie, and venture back here after you've had a chance to see it. Okay then, let's get stuck in. After all the credits have rolled, we see Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson stuck in an interrogation room by themselves. They seem to be talking to some mysterious unseen figures behind a two-way mirror, and they agree to pretend that Skull Island never existed and they never went there. Corey Hawkins and Jing then walk in and welcome Hiddleston and Larson to Monarch, an organisation that covertly studies monsters like Godzilla. The two Monarch staff then explain to Hiddleston and Larson that Skull Island is just the beginning, and that there are more monsters out there. They warn them that the world never belonged to humans, instead it belonged to the monsters, and the question is how long it will be before the monsters take it back. Hawkins then reveals that Kong is not the only king and shows a set of files that Monarch has on other monsters. This is when we get to see some cave paintings of Godzilla and three iconic kaiju, Rodan, Mothra and King Ghidorah. The final drawing shows Godzilla fighting the three-headed monster Ghidorah, and as the screen fades to black we hear the iconic Godzilla roar. Okay, let's look in more detail at this post-credit scene and what it means for the new MonsterVerse. Rodan is a type of pteranodon that first appeared on the big screen in Toho Studios' 1956 movie Rodan, and was initially a foe of Godzilla's in the 1964 movie Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Mothra, as the name suggests, is a moth-like creature that has often been portrayed as a saviour. She's one of movie studio Toho's most popular kaiju, and is surpassed only by Godzilla in the number of movies that she's appeared in. She went up against Godzilla in the 1964 movie Mothra vs Godzilla, and also in 1992's Godzilla vs Mothra, so it's quite possible we'll see her as an antagonist to Godzilla, at least to start with, in Godzilla 2. By the way, the 2014 Godzilla movie included a couple of Mothra Easter eggs that already teased the iconic kaiju. Mothra's name appeared on some labels stuck together on an old dilapidated tank at Joe and Ford's former home. And there was a very heavy butterfly and moth theme going on in Ford's class the day the nuclear plant went down. The paintings of a dragon-like creature in the end credits are representations of King Ghidorah. Ghidorah was a powerful enemy of Godzilla, Mothra and Rodan when he first appeared in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. The idea for Ghidorah's multiple heads was inspired by a Japanese mythological eight-headed creature. In the 1964 Toho movie, the monstrous dragon is an extraterrestrial being that hatches from an egg which initially appeared to be a meteor. Ghidorah attempts to take over the Earth until Mothra stands up to him, with Godzilla and Rodan eventually deciding to team up with her to defeat Ghidorah and send him back to space. Other appearances of Ghidorah in Toho's movies have him under the control of aliens or time travelers, and there's one incarnation of him in which he's a heroic guardian monster that protected Japan. By the way, the 2014 Godzilla movie included a little Easter egg to Ghidorah via a submerged dragon head where the female Muto had laid her eggs in San Francisco. It'll be interesting to see how the Godzilla King of Monsters movie combines Godzilla, Rodan and Mothra with King Ghidorah, and whether it'll follow a similar path to the 1964 film where they're against each other to begin with until they decide to combine forces to fight the bigger threat of King Ghidorah. Kong Skull Island also sets us up for the hopefully epic movie Godzilla vs Kong. In Skull Island we meet an adolescent Kong who's already an impressive 100 foot tall, but at this size he would be very hard pressed to go up against Godzilla, who is 350 foot tall. However, during Skull Island, John C. Reilly's character Marlowe mentions that Kong is still growing, and as the film is set in 1973, that means that Kong still has over 40 years of growth ahead of him before he meets Godzilla in 2020. By the way, this won't be the first time that Kong and Godzilla have done battle on the big screen. That was in the 1962 Japanese movie King Kong vs Godzilla, which featured Kong getting stronger by absorbing electricity from various sources, and appeared to end somewhat inconclusively, with the pair falling into the ocean during a fight, after which we only see King Kong re-emerge, though the film's characters speculated that Godzilla survived. Still, according to Toho, Kong was victorious. And given that both Godzilla and Kong are sort of anti-heroes, I imagine that at some point they could still put their differences aside, at least temporarily, to fight a potentially even bigger foe. So how hyped are you now for Godzilla 2 King of Monsters and Godzilla vs Kong? Do you think Godzilla will team up with Mothra and Rodan to battle King Ghidorah? And who do you think would win a fight between Godzilla and Kong? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, and why not subscribe for more reviews, Easter egg videos and cool movie facts. You can also tap or click the screen here to watch more videos you might like. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!